everyone, so in this video I'm going to be filling a sketchbook spread, the front to the back of the page, so the full thing, and I'm going to be using different kinds of media and just sketching some different references and some creatures, and who knows what I'm going to end up drawing, but feel free to also grab your sketchbook and draw with me or do some kind of task that you want to do, and let's get started. Might be fun to draw some more dragons. My brown broke, so I'm just gonna use red. Because this is a scarlet red, so it's kind of orangey. Might be fun to kind of shade in the sketch with the sketching color. Doesn't really erase that well, despite it being called a color erase. Does not erase super good. So I want to purely talk throughout this sketch. I want to kind of knock back some of the parts that don't need to be as visible, like the parts that are in the back, to make other parts kind of stand out. Just a quick sketch. I don't think the anatomy is very accurate. Like this part doesn't really make that much sense, but we're gonna move on. I kind of want to do something that stretches. Like a long sort of ferret dragon thing, maybe? I need to look up an animal running reference so I get the feet right. Some references here, just gonna erase what I did. I should be using pencil, but I just don't want to. Maybe something with a... maybe a thinner leg. I really need to not be so heavy-handed when I'm doing this, because then I can't erase anything. Kind of looks broken the way I drew it. So it's sort of like a sea dragon thing, but also kind of mixed with a ferret, so it's really long. I need to fix that leg. It looks so weird. I need a real eraser. I'll use this. Came in a sketch box, I think. Yeah, this is much better. Okay. Okay, I know what I want to kind of try to do. Well, that makes zero sense. I'm being way too heavy-handed today. That happens when I'm unsure about things. Why am I using such dark lines today? I just don't know. Maybe I'm a bit rusty. Instead of just a generic foot shape, I want to actually draw like a boot. I don't have my kneaded eraser handy on me right now, so I'm just lightly erasing so I can go in with a marker and add some detail. And this is This is the pen. I picture her wearing a very baggy shirt underneath. But this is just a sketch, would this work over the pencil crayon? I don't know, but I'm gonna try. I always do watercolor a lot more rough in my sketchbook. So it's kind of like a purple to green gradient cloak to be kind of a dark color. Purplish hair. That's a nice purple. I like the purple I can get with this. I really need to get a napkin so I can get the color off this brush. Gonna use some purple for shadows. And I have these little things hanging off its tail, which are kind of like lights, I guess. And I want them to be a warm color. That's basically the same color as that dragon there. But it's almost like he's carrying these orbs for some special purpose. Maybe he has a little bit of the warm color over here. I can use it in the shadows because orange and blue kind of dull each other down. So it'll make a nice... It's kind of a pinky orange, so doesn't have the biggest sort of dulling effect, but I think it works. I kind of want to draw this character here, kind of standing. Holding a stick, and I think at the end of the stick I want to have a bunch of things that she's cooking. This is still wet. I'm trying so hard not to ruin it with my hand. I really like the way this watercolor looks in general. I just think it's a bit more vibrant. I guess it's more transparent. It's not as muddy looking, or chalky, I guess is the right word, as my some other ones I've used. I've been having kind of a dilemma. Not really a dilemma, but mostly I've just been thinking about the way I draw things and faces, and if I want to start adding more details to faces or not. Because I usually just do very simple eyes and just very simple facial features in general. And I'm not sure if I want to start kind of making things a little more detailed lately. I don't really know what I want to do when it comes to that. I find usually it's best to not really force anything and just kind of draw the way you naturally draw. He's kind of wearing an extremely baggy undershirt sort of underneath what she's wearing. That made her arm look super buff, which isn't what I wanted. So I'm gonna try to redo that. Might have to fix her mouth too, because that turned out kind of creepy. So I was thinking of having a bunch of sort of like vegetables hanging off of this. Kind of want to figure out what I want the general silhouette of this to look like before I do any details. So I might kind of erase this and redraw some of the fruits. I've been trying to find ways to draw things more efficiently rather than doing so much trial and error. I feel like I use trial and error as a way to kind of be a bit more lazy than I need to. Like the way I sometimes paint things where I won't clean up the sketch first, I'll just kind of paint over top of it. And I kind of like push and pull things instead of kind of figuring it out from the start. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I've been kind of thinking about that lately too. I picture her as kind of more of a bulky, athletic fit kind of character. This is sort of like a tank top, a sleeveless cloak, I guess you could say. Like a sleeveless thing. Trying to figure out how that would actually look though. Okay, I think that's more what I had in mind. I might just watercolor directly on top of this sketch. Her hair was a purpley color. Her skin was kind of a reddish color. She has a dark blue sleeveless thing. Her pants are purple as well. And a brownish, purplish boot color. Man, these colors are turning out too washed out. I kind of like her wearing a white undershirt actually. Better than the black. Might add a bit of shadows to that. Maybe some blue shadows. Yeah, I kind of like the white. I think I'm gonna leave it as white. I want to do this more often, just watercoloring pencil sketches. I think it kind of adds to the soft style I'm trying to achieve, that I keep somehow missing the mark on and forgetting about that I actually like want to do. Oh, I forgot about this mess. I need to figure that out. Okay. So lots of mushrooms, apples, stuff like that. Leaves, herbs. And I think that's good enough. Okay. Got some nice green over here. Gonna include some green on her just to kind of pull it all together. Okay, so there's her little vegetable staff. I'm gonna move this closer just so it's more central view. I'm gonna use my fine watercolor water brush, which I got in a Sketchbox. A lot of the stuff I get in Sketchboxes kind of become favorites. It's also just the novelty of having something new to use is always exciting. But this is a really good brush for details. Something that is really helpful when choosing colors is to not necessarily choose things just based on what color they normally are, and to choose things based on the color palette. So if an apple's red, it doesn't have to be red. You can make it pink, orange, you can make it lean to whatever color kind of assists the rest of the drawing. And also just in general, nothing has to be the color that it is. That's the whole point of art. You can make anything you want. I'm forgetting what color is what on my palette because everything's just so dark. Okay, so my purple is a pretty dark color. I might use that. think the pants need a bit more of a pinkish hue to them. Maybe some of the shirt too. This is already so stained, but it's kind of a pretty color. Okay, now for these, I need a dark purpley color. I really like mixing phthalo blue with this pink color I have. I'm not sure, it's kind of like a magenta, but it's not exactly magenta. It has another color in the name. I mean, another word in the name. I think it's like Schmincke pink or magenta or something. No, it's quadra... Oh, I don't know how to say it. Someone told me how to pronounce it and I forgot. I should really learn how to pronounce things before I talk about them because it just makes me seem uneducated. I've always liked radishes, just drawing them because they're so fun. They're red and green, which is a really nice color combination because they're complements. And I'm also growing radishes and they're doing really well. I don't know what they look like underneath the soil, but their leaves look pretty good. That's not really the part that counts though. The part that counts is the root, because that's the part you eat. So I hope those are developing nicely. Okay, well this dries a little bit, so I can work on it a bit more. I'm going to draw something here. Everything is so disjointed, like this is so soft, these are so harsh. I want to draw this dragon thing in a pose. I wanted him to have 4 ears for some reason. I don't know what the purpose of that would be, but I want it, so he's gonna have it. Or maybe she. You know what? This is a she. I call everything he and I forget to make female things, so... Except for, obviously, human characters. I make a lot of females. Oh man, I just love these new paints I got. They just make everything look just nice. I don't know how to describe it. I just really like them. My fear with watercolor is always, if you're doing a wash and you need total concentration to not leave any lines and you can't just let it sit, because it will get all splotchy if you leave it. So it's kind of stressful and I'm always worried that someone's gonna call me away from my desk or like someone's gonna knock at the door and then it's gonna mess up my watercolor wash. I think I kind of transitioned colors too quickly there. I'm gonna try outlining this in watercolor just to see if I can just do the whole thing and just paint. I think that would be interesting. I normally don't really use water brushes for watercolor, but if it's in my sketchbook, I will use a water brush because it's just a sketchbook. I don't need that much control because water brushes tend to dilute the paint as you use it, and it kind of changes as you go, so that's why I like to use just a regular brush and water. I like how this one has sort of different colors all throughout it. I like how I brought the green in. I thought that was a little bit overkill at first, but I think it works. Kind of wanted to stretch the anatomy so we could like swirl, like kind of bend around and stand this way, but I don't know. It's a very puffy bird, which I think I need to get better at drawing. The beak is so blue, I don't even think I can make that blue. That looks just like a blob of nothing. This one's kind of a fully wet on wet. I really want to do more gouache stuff. It's just such a hassle to mix colors like that, like to mix actual paint, it's just, I've never really had the patience for that lately. I feel like I need to draw a bunny. Yeah, I think I'll draw one here just to kind of understand the anatomy better. I kind of want to color in these little doodles to sort of match the rest of the page. This is a color I can never really mix with my other watercolors. This bunny looks very suspicious of something. I should probably outline it in black just so it kind of goes with the rest of the page. This is supposed to be making a entire sketchbook page spread. Oh wait, what happened to the head? Why does it look like that now? It got all like morphed. Okay, I think I kind of fixed it. I don't know. I want to do this one too. I think I might make it be more like this color scheme. Man, this thing is such a mess. Okay, I want to let that dry. Aw, you could barely see any of that, but I just colored in the dragon. I'm gonna do the bunny now, and he's gonna be also orangey. Maybe a fire bunny. I want to sharpen this pencil so I can add some more details to the bunny. I wish you could see more of the ears. Man, I need some pencils that aren't as soft as this. They're just such a pain. This one here needs to be finished. I'm trying to keep her hair kind of have a loose shape to it. And this bird here needs a bit more definition. I think bunnies have really cute heads, even though they are a little bit weird. They're very long. Oh my gosh, that does not look like a bunny's foot at all. Or its head. Why did I do that? That looks a bit strange. This bird has a little wand. So here's the result of me trying to fill the sketchbook spread. I tried to put a lot of color and effort into a lot of these, but also not dwell on them too much. I like to leave some air around the sketches just so they can breathe and it's not too cluttered, but I do like the idea of just completely filling in every little space, but that's just not really how I use sketchbooks. But it would be cool to try to do that at some point, just like really fill it up with art. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you were able to draw along with me, and if you did, let me know what you were drawing and let me know which sketch is your favorite. I personally like this one. It's the last one I did and it was super quick, but I really like him and I feel like he should be a sticker set. I should draw more of him. I also like this one and I like this long thing, and I don't know, I kind of had fun with everything. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next video.